I like participation. I love engagement, the energy that we put in. This is for you guys. I'm here, I'm going to give 110%. And so, because I just, even if you don't think you look cute, or if you want to go put on another shirt, I would love for you to show up for yourself. This is not showing up for me, this is showing up for you. Because whatever you invest in, you're going to get out of this. And I'm invested today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start sharing my screen. I will be asking people to type things in the chat, participate in the survey. And but when I come off, right? So, you know, I'm going to go back on with my screen sharing. But when I come off screen sharing intermittently, and don't leave me hanging. I'm like, people, anybody wants to say anything or anything like that, or just saying hi, feel free to jump on video, because interaction is everything. So if you want to type in the chat, I noticed actually we have people from Nigeria. Shout out to Nigeria, because what is it there, like midnight or 1 a.m.? That's out of control. So you are invested in yourself. Yeah, it's midnight. So Christina, congratulations for showing up for you at midnight. It means you take it seriously. All right, I see people from obviously Halifax here. Harry and Uzo, BC, British Columbia, I think, Tacumbo. I'm in Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut, in the United States. So, which is in the Northeast. So exciting. I see Blessing, I see Harry. I'm loving these names. Success, Blessing. Loving it, loving it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started, because 2 a.m. in Nigeria. So Harry corrected us, 2 a.m. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen. We have a lot to go through. Honestly, more than I can cover in an hour. So I'm gonna go through as much as I possibly can right now. Type yes, sis, in the chat if you can see my screen. All right, let's see. And that's gonna be my thing. Yes, yes, all right, love it. Yes, yes, all right, perfect. All right, so today we're gonna be talking about strategies to get paid more in the marketplace. All right, if you want to get paid more as a business owner, if you wanna get paid more as an employee, you just wanna get paid more, period, type yes, sis, SIS for sister. I love the yes, sis, in the chat, so that I can know I'm talking to the right people today. I don't know about you, but a lot of us are. All right, I see Harry. Harry got it. Yes, sis. I see coming through. All right. So we are in. Yes, Debbie says yes. So okay, good. We're in the right place, because I'm going to be sharing some strategies, and these strategies, I'm going to give you the tactical tips towards the second half, but I'm going to talk about mindset. Because a lot of people think it's just about salary negotiation and asking. The question is, why aren't you asking? And a lot of this is about mindset. So I'm going to get into this, and I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. But today's webinar, just to check if you're in the right place, is strategies for getting paid more in the marketplace. Including in that, we're going to talk about the mindset piece, which is overcoming various forms of imposter syndrome. We're going to talk about how to conquer limiting beliefs. We're going to talk about how to win using faith and the 3C formula. And then we're going to talk about the actual tactical strategies for negotiating a raise or pay. And I know that this is being recorded, so we know all the people that joined. I see that there are 53 people. What a big audience, 53 people on this call. So in a minute, I'm going to talk about the bonus that you're going to receive for everyone who stays until the end. Right? We have it recorded, so we're going to know who stays until the end. Because the people who stay till the end will get a free bonus from me. A free bonus that I usually don't give out to people that are not in my leadership development program. And Oge can tell you that, because she actually had to pay to get it. You guys are going to get it for free. All right. But before we get started, I want to know if you are a professional who wants to advance in his or her career, but you've struggled with any of the below. Speaking up boldly, articulating your accomplishments or qualifications in a compelling way. Maybe you struggle with working hard, but seeing no rewards for all the work that you put in. Maybe you feel underpaid or insecure on how to get paid and negotiate the worth. your worth. Maybe you feel frustrated by office politics, right? You're doing all the work, but you feel like you're not getting recognized and there's a lot of politics going on in your office. Or maybe you just feel held back by your work environment. Does this describe any one of you? And I'm going to look forward to see, because I want to see if I'm hitting on the right notes for the right people. So if anything on the screen applies to you, I want you to type yes in the chat. Yes, sis. In the chat. Okay, Edith, I see you. That's just, I see Victor. Yes, Harry, Dr. Whale, Doctor in the house, Debbie. Okay, all right. I'm seeing them coming through. Okay, I see all of you coming through. So it means we're in the right place. If you struggle with that and you have been wondering how you can feel ready for that job or promotion that you want, how you can get paid your worth, how you can get the recognition and reward that your diligent work deserves, and your qualifications. That's how somebody says a doctor. That's a lot of qualifications there. How you can have a greater feeling of confidence, inspiration, and motivation. How you can conquer the fear that has been holding you back. Or how you can stop getting overlooked for bigger opportunities despite the time and effort that you put in. If you're wondering any of these, you are in the right place. That's what we're going to talk about today. But let's start with some real talk. Right? If you're on this call, I will tell you that overcoming self-doubt to be more courageous and confident at work is probably something that you desire. And you probably want a clear career plan and strategy that will propel you to get to the next level of work. And I'm going to pause while I go through these bullets. I'm very curious. I want to hear, I want everybody as possible. So I want like 50 chats for this one. Type in the chat what you do, right? So whether or not you're in human resources, if you're in business analysis, if you're in project management, if you're in finance, type in the chat, because I want to see the different backgrounds of people on this call, because I am going to customize it. So type in the chat while I do this, because I'm going to come off and check in a minute. So you want a clear plan and strategy to propel you to the next level at work. You want to get paid. But in order to accelerate advancement in your career, most people have at least one thing that they need to work on. At least one thing. And the problem is that corporations only invest in the people that they identify as having high potential. And so you feel like you're getting stuck in the same ineffective methods to try to get ahead. I see the chat coming through on the jobs. Keep them coming. But this changes today. Why does it change? Because we're going to talk about how to get paid more in your business, as well as, most importantly, and first and foremost, the mindset shifts needed to be adequately compensated. I only see 13 people. So again, whatever if you don't participate, you're not gonna get as much. And so today you're gonna also learn, we're gonna talk about how you can work with me to bridge the gap between where you wanna be in your career and where you are now. All right. If you stay to the end of the call, these are the two, not one. I told Oge that I was going to do one bonus, but it's going to be two. And I see some guys on this call. Don't worry. I think I work with both men and women, but a lot of my marketing is geared towards women. But honestly, the tips apply to both genders. So you'll see this Savvy Women's checklist to get promoted at work. We're going to send you this checklist, and you're going to have this quiz as well that you can determine for yourself what is stopping you from getting ahead professionally. As well as the most important thing that I promise is a guide that will help you understand how you can negotiate to get higher pay at work. So if you stay to the end, only if you stay to the end, you will get these 2 free bonuses. All right. So I'm going to look in the chat now to see what kind of work everybody does. Let's see. I see Edith is the administration or HR in the house. Chioma is business analyst. And if I say your name wrong, please forgive me. Anne is internal audit. Christine is group underwriting. Ridwan is legal. Okay, business analysis. Clerk from Ned. Marianne, business analysis. PMP, but want a BA role, Scrum Master, healthcare. So you guys are like from all different backgrounds. Quite a few business analysis I see here though. Program management, data analysis, QA, copywriting, finance in the house. All my entire family's finance except for me. All right, good. So you guys are really a diverse, and I love this, Oge, you invited a community of people that have diverse backgrounds and interests. So we're going to talk about today how you can have an unshakable feeling of confidence and internal peace so that you can play bigger than you have ever played in your career and finally get the confidence that you need and the courage you need to negotiate the salary you deserve to apply for the job that you want. Because sometimes you're not getting the salary you deserve because you're just in the wrong job, or you're playing small and you need to go for that bigger job, right? Because a lot of times, most times you won't get a salary increase unless you get a job change, which requires you to step up and play bigger and go for the bigger job. And we're going to talk through these three things. These are the three things. So you get ready to take your notes now. I'm going to get into what are the three things that stop you from elevating in your career, or in the not so subtle way that I put it, the three things that kill your career elevation. All right, number one is being a worker bee. Right? And I'm going to go, the reason I say this, how many of you, and I'll tell you a little bit about my background, right? You feel like the best way to get ahead professionally is work hard, because your hard work should speak for itself. Has anybody, I don't know about you, but I didn't say this in the beginning, but I live in Stamford, Connecticut, but I was born outside the US. I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. And that's one of the things that I learned from my parent as an immigrant, that you got to work hard if you want to get ahead. And if you have been taught that as well, if you want to work hard, your hard work specifically should speak for itself. If you have been taught that, I want you to type yes in the chat and let me know that this is something that you were taught, because we're going to talk about. Yes, so Mayoma, Oge, yep. I see the yeses coming, because I know it wasn't just me. Our community, especially when you come from middle class, etc., or you're immigrant, this is what you're told. And hard work is important, but it is not the only thing. So one of the things, you may be surprised to hear this, one of the things that limit us from getting ahead professionally is really this idea of your hard work should speak for itself. And that results in you becoming a worker bee, working hard, and everybody getting promoted over you, and you're still not getting ahead. So, and a belief that stuck to that as well is that I'm not going to be arrogant because my work should speak for itself. I'm not going to be arrogant because the people who are self-promoting, they're jerks, and I'm not playing that game, and I'm going to be humble. Right? And my great work will speak for itself. The problem is that when you think that, you work hard, you're the first one in, you're the last one out, but you never get credit. A lot of times the hard workers are the ones that only work hard and they don't have any other strategy. They work hard, but they don't get the credit or reward they deserve. And the problem is that your hard work doesn't speak for itself when there's nobody listening. And then you get mad because somebody else takes credit for the work that you do. Type a yes in the chat as well if any of these things has ever happened to you, or if I'm talking to the wrong crowd here. I would love to hear yes. I already see some yeses coming in. All right, good. Olu and Muideen, thank you. And Dr. Kayla, yes, of course. Dr. Whale, sorry. Awesome. So here's the thing. In order to get ahead professionally, career success is not just about hard work. There are a few things it's about. It's about mastering the inner game, the mindset, which we're talking about already. It's about having a strategic career plan. And then third, it's about savvy workplace strategies. And I'm going to be breaking down, we're going to focus mostly on mastering the inner game, but we're also going to talk about some savvy strategies that will help you to position yourself to get ahead professionally and get an impactful and fulfilling career. And I'm going to have some examples here. I had a woman that I was working with in my program, and she, like you, she's an immigrant to the US as well. And she was a hard worker and an educator and finance professional who was just tired of being in roles below her potential. She was working hard. And, in the middle of the pandemic, as a matter of fact, this happened in 2020 for her. In the middle of the pandemic, where people were not going to work, losing their jobs in the beginning, she got clear on the types of roles that she wanted. She got clear on the things that was holding her back. And as a result of breaking through her mindset, she received multiple offers. She got hired in the midst of quarantine, which we're still in the US, to her dream role, from managing no people to managing a leadership team, a team of people that were over 70 and above, 70 plus people, right? She's receiving awards and she's definitely being celebrated. Why? Because she begun to understand some of the savvy strategies that we're going to be talking about today. The second thing that holds people back professionally is self-doubt. And this is one I'm going to ask you a question in a minute. So, and I'm going to come off sharing and I'm going to go back on and I want to see what people are saying for this one. But self-doubt, what is self-doubt? Self-doubt is this nagging, shaming, criticizing voice that shows up when we are trying to step outside of our comfort zone, when we are trying to play big. That's what self-doubt is. And some people call it the inner critic. Some people call it imposter syndrome. There are many different words for this, but it's this feeling of not being good enough when you're doing something new. And typically we tell ourselves to be more confident. Just step up, be more confident, believe in yourself. But how many of us have really told ourselves just be more confident and it didn't work, right? If it's just something that we could magically do, then a lot of people wouldn't be struggling with this. So just telling yourself to be more confident or somebody telling you is just not enough. You need a strategy, you need a plan. And so with this self-doubt, one second. With this self-doubt, as I said before, it is really about whenever you're doing something new, whether or not you're going for a new job, you're applying for a promotion, you are having a difficult conversation, your body goes into fight or flight mode and you become scared. And then you start telling yourself these things that will stop you from taking action. Some of the messages from self-doubt will tell you, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. My accent is too thick. My English is not good enough. If any of these have made you feel self-doubt in the past, I want you to type yes, sis in the chat and let me know. And I'm gonna see if it resonates with you. Maybe you tell yourself, oh, you know what? I'm too young or too old to go for this job. Everybody's gonna find out that I'm a fake, that I really don't know what I'm talking about. Or you don't take chances. You're like, oh, what if I'm wrong? I have no value to add. If any of these, I'm gonna look at it now. And I'm coming off screen. But I see a few people typing in yes. So let me stop sharing. And I see the yeses coming in the chat. I see Jay, Amaka, Christine, Jane, Innocent, Tukunbu, Edith, Kimi. Okay, all right. I see Harry. Okay, good. So I'm talking to the right people. We're gonna talk about how we're gonna break through this now. Here's the thing. I talked about it before. Self-doubt and fear comes up whenever we're trying to do something new, right? Type in the chat if you know what is the primary function of our brain. And whoever gets it right, okay, I want you to write it down because I'm gonna have a bonus for them. But I wanna hear from this group, what do you think is the primary function of your brain? Decision-making, Harry? It is definitely one of them, but it is not the primary function of our brain. Type it in the chat if you think. I'm gonna give you another minute to guess, because anybody who guesses this deserves a bonus. Thinking, central process, responding to stimulus. All right, Dami said it. Okay, Chioma and Dami got it. Chioma, and so if you can write that down, because I'm gonna decide a bonus for you guys later. It is to keep you safe, to keep you alive. Back in the day, right? We think about fight or flight response. When you're gonna be attacked, right? Your brain is telling you to run, right? And the problem with the brain is back in the day when human beings were being attacked by lions and bears, right? The brain was really protecting them from real danger. But nowadays, especially if you live, in an urban community, you're not worried about bears and you're not worried about lions, right? So there's no real physical threat or danger from that perspective. What the physical threat our brain processes, and the brain cannot tell the difference between real danger and perceived threat. And so what happens in the brain is that the fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of criticism, all these emotional fears get processed in our brain and activates the fight or flight response. This is why when you're nervous, your heart starts to race, your hand starts to sweat. It's because your sympathetic nervous system has been activated. And that is what your brain. And so a lot of times we don't step up and play big. We don't go for the big jobs and the big positions because of this fear, right? So I want to highlight that it's not just because you don't know a strategy and a tactic, because a lot of times, you know, you have the information, but the reason you're not stepping up to do the thing that you know to do is because of this fight or flight response, is because of fear. But what I want to tell you is that you have a unique superpower. And the greatest value that you can add is not what you're trying to become, but discovering the power of who you already are. And so, you introduced me. Okay, I'm not gonna get into this too much about who I am, except for the fact that the takeaway is that I'm not new to talking to brilliant people such as yourself. I put not new to this, but true to this. And the reason I put that there is because I've spoken on stages. I've spoken, across the world in different countries. And what has happened is when I ask people the question I asked you before about self-doubt and fear, pretty much 100% of the people, at least 95% of the people say one of these things has held them back in the past because of fear of not being good enough, not being smart enough, etc. And so some of the people that I've worked with are from some of these companies right here. So it's not, again, you'll see some of these companies even from Canada, different parts of the world. And I put it here because I want to normalize how people feel, that it's not weird. It's not about me bragging about my clients, but it's like people from all over the world are feeling these things. And how many of us are held back by this fear? So, but when I broke through my own fear, and I want to plant a seed of what's possible for you. When I broke through my own fear, what happened? You saw me on stage. I'm going to stop sharing to check in for a second. You saw me on stage. I was able to speak to crowds across the world. I was able to get my dream job. I was able to host workshops and keynotes. And I started my own company teaching other women in particular, but men too, how to step up and play big in their career and in their lives. So a question I ask for you is, if you could break through this feeling of fear and self-doubt, I want to know really what would be possible for you. What would be possible for you? And you don't have to answer that right now. I want you to be thinking about that, because fear holds us back from so many things. So what would be possible for you, as I said before? This is going to be your most important mindset shift. And I want you to write that question for yourself down. You may not be able to answer it. This is key. It sounds like a simple question, but if I was able to speak on stage as being an introvert, if I was able to start my own business, if I was able to walk away from company and start my own practice to support myself and my family because I broke through my self-doubt and fear, what could be possible for you? It may not be the same. It may be something different. It may be even something bigger and better than I am. But write that question down. And maybe if you begin to type in the chat what would be possible for you, if you start thinking about it, I want you to type in the chat. And maybe that will engage other people as well in this group to start thinking, it's like, how have I been holding myself back? So type in the chat if you already started thinking about what would be possible for you if you broke out of self-doubt and fear. Because I want to hear it, and the community wants to hear it. But one of the most powerful ways, we all know the problem is fear, but Keisha, how do I fix it? All right. One of the most powerful things you could do to stop self-doubt in its tracks is just to name what is going on. Remember, I said the reason we don't step up and play big and ask for the promotion, ask for the raise, and go for the bigger job is because our fight or flight response coming up. So when we're doing something new, standing in front of a crowd of people and presenting at work, having a discussion about a salary increase, and our heart starts to race, and we feel the hands sweating, and we feel the bodily sensations. Guess what? it's happening because you are growing, you're doing something new, you're playing bigger than you've ever played before. And instead of freaking out, you could just name it. And I call it name and tame it. Name it, name what's going on. I had a client, and I won't talk too much about this. I'm just gonna go through, but this one woman, let's see what was said in the chat, because I'm still waiting for people to tell me what, name it, tame it, okay. I'm still waiting for those that have identified the thing that they would be able to do if they broke through fear. Yep, Muideen says, when I completely break through my self-doubt, the sky's the beginning to succeed, what you can do. So the sky's the limit, as we say in the US, sky's absolutely the limit. All right. So Maria, she broke through her self-doubt and fear. And one of the things, she also is an immigrant to the US from Colombia, and she had been working with one organization for 14 years. The woman had a master's degree, which she didn't have when she came to the US. She had so much qualification. She was significantly underpaid. And as a result of breaking through her fears and doubts, she finally was, first of all, she got a promotion in that current job and was able to negotiate a 40%. And this was a person that was already making six-figure. So that's a 5-figure salary increase. That's like over $20,000 or $30,000, right? She, in the same year, she got a 40% salary increase. Guess what it meant? Not that she was just courageous, but also that she was being underpaid, right? So how many of you are being undercompensated by tens of thousands of dollars and you don't even know because you're settling? All right, so it's cut a long story short with her. She got a promotion and then she changed the company, and now she's managing a team of people and living her best life. But the third thing, if you're writing down the points, we're on the third point. The third thing that stops people back, and this is going to be one of the most important ones. Miriam says, when I completely break through my fear and self-doubt, I will be unstoppable. All right. Love it. Thanks for sharing. The third thing is a weak network. How many of you have ever know that I have ever heard this expression? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Now, I'm not going to say not knowing things is not important. We believe in the certifications, right? I know Oge talks about that. Get in the read the article that she posted in a magazine recently. Get in the training and the certification and the degrees, and all of that is important, because nobody's going to hire you without qualification. But in order to get to that next level professionally, in order to get hired, if you don't have if the right people don't know how good you are, then you're never going to get anywhere professionally. And a lot of us, goes back to that belief that we said earlier, that your hard work should speak for itself, or your good work. It won't speak for itself if nobody knows. You want to be visible. You don't want to be the best kept secret in town. And this, my friends, a lot of us immigrants, we over rely on the hard work, and we're not out there networking with senior leaders. We're not out there networking, not just with each other, but with decision makers. And so if these people don't know you, you're going to be really limited. So that's the third thing you want to work on if you want to get ahead professionally. The right people have to know the value you are. Yes, Harry. Who you knows matter. Yep. And who's willing to speak for you. I love that you said that, doctor. Dropping the knowledge, doctor. I love it. All right. And so in my life coaching program, and I'll talk about that in the end, one of the modules that we have is really important that we talk about is the DIVA method. And you can write this down, because this is some free tip for you. If you want to get promoted, I have a 4-step process that I teach in my course called the DIVA method. And I see Oge smiling because this is like her favorite thing ever. The secret sauce. And the DIVA method is my own trademark strategy that I have developed after 20 plus years of working in Fortune 500 companies. And is the 4-step is you got to deliver results, which includes your training and education, because you can't deliver results if you don't know what you're doing. So we already addressed that. Don't quote me and say what you know is not important or hard work is not important. It is, because if you don't do those things, you're going to forget getting promoted. You're going to be fired, right? So it is important. You've got to deliver results. And if you're not delivering, most people that come to my program, they're hard workers. That's not the problem. The problem is either the I, V, or A. The I is your image. What do people say about you when you're not in the room? What is your name synonymous with, right? Is your name synonymous with delivering results, hard work? Is your name synonymous with deep expertise? Do they know if they put you on a project, she's going to deliver, right? If your image is not good, if your brand is not good, that's going to hold you back. The third point is visibility, right? Who knows you? Are you working on the right projects out there that the right decision makers get to know you? That's what, but you cannot be the best kept secret in town, is what I say all the time to my group. Right? You work hard, but nobody knows. And A is your advisory board. And I go deeper into this in my program, which we'll talk more about. But the advisory board is your personal board of directors. Everybody talks about having a mentor. We all know that you need a mentor. Yes, that's part of your advisory board. But beyond your mentor, who's your sponsor? Do you even know what a sponsor is? Who's advocating for you, right? Which decision maker is going to come in the room? Like when I wanted a job and I was going against a lot of people, all it took was one of my executive friends to call the CEO and says, hire Keisha, because Keisha is amazing. And it happened within a week. That's all it takes. A call from somebody who knows how great you are. So make sure you have a sponsor on your advisory board. All right, so the free tip, free to write it down. Take a screenshot of this page. This is key. If you go to my YouTube, I actually have a video on the Diva Method. And you can look up my name, Keisha Winter, and find it. But there's some free information out there. Okay, all right. Let me hurry this along because I've prepared way too much than I have time to go through. So here's the thing. And I said it here, and I didn't really go through it because I wanted to go fast. But if I really spill the real tea about how to get ahead professionally, this is the real tea right here. That the people that are getting ahead, I call them the chosen few, they already have coaches. Organizations are paying tens and thousands. That's why I have a business. That's why I can run a business. I work directly with the organization. They bring me in and my peers in to coach the people that they see as high potential. So while the rest of people are out there trying to do everything by themselves and figure it out, the executives know that you can't do it by yourself. And a mentor, a coach is going to get you to that next level. And they're willing to invest the dollars to bring the coaches in because they know that's how people get results. So the chosen few organizations are bringing in coaches to coach their high potential employees to get to that next level. And so as a result of this is why I created a program called the Own Your Power Leadership Track Acceleration Program, because I make this coaching available broadly to people that are not at the executive level, but working on getting there. And in the program, we go through things like, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the program, but I want to give you a quick highlight, and then I'm going to get back to the content. In the program, we talk about breaking through self-doubt. We talk about building your personal values. We talk about how to process feedback. We talk about stopping self-sabotage due to fear, which I give you a highlight of today. We talk about the Diva Method to get ahead professionally, which we talked about high level today. We talk about how to personally brand yourself and to do a strength-based assessment. We talk about how to negotiate your salary. And we talk about executive presence and powerful communication. So take a screenshot. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but that is what we talk about to help people get promoted. And I say that to everyone that investing, like we invest, at least I'll talk about the US. People invest in purses and going on trips and handbags and the expensive shoes, the Louis Vuitton, but they don't invest in their own personal development. People are really ready to do that before they're ready to invest in themselves. And if you want others to invest in you, you got to know that you're worth it first. And I say it's expensive not to invest in yourself. All right, so take a screenshot of that. Every time you think it's anything, it doesn't have to be me. Anytime you think it's too expensive to invest in yourself, you ask yourself, are you really worth it? Do you think you're worth it? All right, so I'm gonna skip through some slides because we are here to talk about how to get paid more. And I wanna get through this for the next few minutes. How do you get paid more and make it rain? I put it, make it rain those dollars in your own life, right? Because the dollars is not just for Jeff Bezos. And I love the fact that you said this is a community of immigrants and visible minorities. I just love how Canada put things, because in the US we call it minorities, but I like the word visible, right? Because a lot of times you don't even know. So how do you do that? Ready to take notes? Because this is a salary negotiation part that you came for. One is that you state your salary expectations first. And it's funny, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick about one of my coaching clients. I just spoke to her today. She literally negotiated a $25,000 salary increase 2 weeks ago. Why? Because she used this strategy. A lot of times you're waiting for them to tell you what to be paid. You need to go in, because whoever speaks first, that, because if you go in, if they go, let's say, perfect example, I give you a perfect simple example. My family member was offered a salary for 100,000 a few years ago, and I said to them, well, what did you say you wanted? I just accepted it. I said, you know what the problem is? You should have said what you wanted first. If you would have went in and said, I want a 120,000, they would have probably paid you 110. But now they said it first and they're not going to go too high. So I said, what you need to go in now and tell them you want 110, and then what they're going to pay you is 105. So because you didn't say the salary first, they negotiate you down. But if you start high and they bring you low, trust me, it's going to be higher than anything. Now you have to do your homework, which the guy that I send you is going to tell you websites and places that you can look at to do the research. You got to go in and state your salary expectations first. That's tip number one. Tip number two, before you go in to negotiate a salary increase, you've got to list out, because you're not just going to say, give me more money. Like what did you do to deserve more money? Prepare a list of your accomplishments. What productivity have you brought? What time have you saved? What money have you saved for the business? These are standard metrics that what have you delivered for the organization, right? What's the turnaround? Like, what's the benefit? Why are they going to give you? So you have to list everything that you've done. And if you've received emails from different people in the organization saying thank you for all the work that you've done, you want to write that down. And you want to keep a track of all those emails that said all the great work you did. The third is be positive through the process. On the salary negotiation piece, you want to be positive throughout the process. Don't go in with a negative. Well, first of all, you can be positive through the process, because even if they say no, right, you've already now let them know that you're not going to just settle for anything. So you don't have to be upset. Number two, if you're not happy, you can go anywhere else and work. You can go somewhere else where you're going to get paid better. But if you're negative, chances are you're not going to get what you want, because nobody wants to be around a negative person. So you definitely want to be positive through the process. Really important. And I put it here. The truth is you always have options. Your career advancement does not depend only on your manager or on your board or on your mentoring, right? It depends on other leaders with influence and people that are in your network, and on your skill sets and on your knowledge. And so if there's anything that's not working out for you in the current place that you're in, always remember you have options, and you can exercise the power of choice that you have with your feet. You can move on if necessary. Okay, let me see what's in the chat. Okay, I see Harry type in salary expectations. Yep, you got it. You are not limited. You have options. I love it. Love, love, love it. All right. So the takeaway here is on that page is go where your talent is nurtured and not stifled. In other words, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. Okay, I'm going to go 5 minutes over. I know we're supposed to be done at 6:45. I need 5 more minutes because I, again, prepared way too much. I'm going to get into, I'm going to skip these slides, but I want to know so far, have any of you gotten any big ahas or juicy tips out of the webinar so far? Have you learned anything? Please let me know by typing yes in the chat if you got any benefits so far out of the session. I see Adefala said yes. Shioma, thank you. says yes. I see Innocent Uzo Nad says yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, yep. All right. Fun me, Manny, and Nad Q, Ozu. Okay, I see the yes. Keep them coming in because I want to know that you felt like you got some value greatly tonight. All right. Doctor said you always have is an option. Yes, it's a slam dunk. I don't believe in a scarcity mindset, especially for those of you who are spiritual people. We are a people that believe in abundance. All right. So, recap: your career elevation killers are you don't want to be a worker bee, right? It's not just about working hard. You have to have a bigger strategy. Self-doubt. You have to own your worth and get rid of that weak net worth, but use the diva method instead. So we covered. We cover the salary negotiation tips, which somebody typed in. Prepare your brag sheet, state your salary expectations, and be positive. And I'm going to be sending you an actual, because these are short. Listen, as I told you, my client just used number one and did her research, and she got the salary sheet. You don't need 100 tips. You might think you need 100. 3 is enough. But you will get a free guide that will give you about 4 others, and it will have detailed explanation for those of you who stay to the end. We covered the mindset shifts about owning your career, going where you're celebrated, not tolerated. Hard work doesn't speak for itself, that you need a network, and you need to normalize investing in yourself. We talked about those. But let's not forget, this is the last part I'll talk about, the true secret to success. And Oge asked me specifically to talk about this for this community. And it is faith and the 3 C's needed to win. Faith and the 3 C's needed to be successful. This is the last content I'm going to go through that we're going to open up for questions. Right? First of all, I'm just going to read what it says. You know, if anybody knows what faith is a firm belief and a complete trust. It's an energetic force that you need to pull on, or you can pull on to start taking action. The purpose of faith is to get you to believe so that you would get into action. Faith, they say faith without works is dead, right? So you can't believe in yourself and believe that you have everything you need to be successful and you're not taking action. Right? Once you believe, you're going to go forth and you're going to take action. So when I say, in order to win, the number one thing you got to believe, faith in yourself, faith in a God, you just need to have faith. That's the force that you need, right? But in addition, because some people, they have faith and they're not doing anything with it. I don't think that's faith at all. Do you disagree? If you disagree with me, type in the chat. But if you agree, also type in the chat. Let me know. Once you got that faith piece down, the 3 C's needed to win are courage. And what I want to say about courage is not never having fear. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. This is what I tell if you feel afraid, nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, it's great, because if you have fear and you're still taking action anyway, it means you're courageous. You're not letting the feeling stop you. Don't resist the fear, acknowledge it, see it. Don't condemn yourself for having it. It is okay. Just don't let it stop you. That's all. Take action. And remember to reframe it, meaning don't tell yourself you're a failure. As long as you take action, you have succeeded. Because why most people don't succeed is because they don't take action. So everything I gave you a lot today, and you're gonna get more in the guide. If you just take one thing that you learn and you take action on it, you are going to be setting yourself up for success. And while I go through the other 2, I want you to type in what's the one thing that you're taking away from the session today that you're going to take action on. And once you have courage to take action, you know what happens? You begin to get better. You begin to get better at the thing that you need to get better at, which means you begin to develop competence. Competence means you're building your expertise and you're getting better at the work that you're doing. I like to talk about Serena Williams, right? She's a courageous woman, but you know why she's also courageous? Because she stayed in action. She kept on taking up that racket and she kept on hitting that ball and she got better and better. She would not be a an outstanding athlete, tennis player that she is today if she didn't keep taking action. And that's how you develop competence. And as you keep taking action and you keep getting better, like Serena, she's confident now because the more action she took is the better she get, and the better she got is the more results she got. And as she kept on getting results, her confidence grew. A lot of us try to feel, be confident. Be confident. What are you going to be confident about? You didn't do nothing yet. You need to get confident. When you take action, then you'll get confidence. Confidence doesn't come first. Confidence is a result of the action that you took. And so don't feel bad if you don't feel confident now. I spoke to my client today. She's starting a new business. She's like, Keisha, I want to feel confident. I'm like, you're not going to feel confident because you're a new business owner. But remember last year, you told me you wanted to feel confident about a salary increase. And guess what? On the salary increase, you ended up getting it. And now you're confident with doing salary negotiations, right? So that is all I have today on the 3 C's needed to win. I'm going to open it up for questions, and then I'll wrap up by making a quick opportunity and an invitation to work with me. So okay, I'm going to hand over to you real quick to see if there are any questions, and I'm going to invite people to come on the screen, as well, and let me know. All right. So Modine says the courage not only to live with my fear, but also to overcome it. Have faith in God, faith in myself. Yes, Harry, I'm with you. And that says he's going to, I don't know if it's a woman or a man, but take action to get a new job by improving confidence. Okay, love it. All right, Shioma or okay, do you want to say anything?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. And I love the way you wrapped it up with the faith and 3 C's. And I just want to reiterate that before we take more questions. We have a lot of people in our community. We have some people in our community that are afraid to go out there and apply for those jobs. They've done lots of training. They've done lots of reading, self-study, but they don't have that confidence. And they are waiting to wake up, and then the confidence comes out of the blues. But I hope with this, Keisha has given us 4 steps. So you just need to believe in yourself, overcome self-doubt, believe in yourself, and take that first step. Take it again. And when you continue taking action, courage, even when you are afraid in the midst of fear, you need to be courageous, continue taking that action. And then that continuous action bets competence. And from confidence, you can then elevate to confidence. From competence, you get elevated to confidence. So please don't forget this last part. If you forget every other thing in this, don't forget this piece. Thank you so much, Keisha. Can we say a big thank you to Keisha before we start taking questions?
Thank you. I'm gonna go to Nad's question, then Chioma. Okay. And then I'm going to drop a link for people to get in touch with me and find out more about my program. But Nad, it's a very important question, says, how is a woman to invest in herself if she's a single mom, responsible for kids, no time, work also? First of all, I want to acknowledge that being a single mother, I'm not a single mom, but a lot of my family members and friends, it is a tough job, and it is not easy. And I want to recognize that, right? And I'm going to push you. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you. I'm not going to just let you say excuses. And excuses not because it's not true, because I am 100% sure 100% sure those things are true. But put it this way: if something happened where a family member was sick or something like really urgent happened, somehow people tend to figure out how to make things happen that are very urgent, things that are very urgent to them, right? And I've seen situations where if it means everybody goes to their bed and you're up an extra hour while people are sleeping, even if it's 30 minutes, you don't even have to be an hour. You get up 30 minutes early, or you go to 30 minutes later, or you set your alarm and you get up at 3 a.m. Like, people figure it out, right? And that's what I'm going to challenge you. It's not easy, and it's a very noble job to be a single mom. And where there's a will, there's a way. So I'm going to challenge you on that. You are worth it. And when you invest in yourself and the higher you can bring yourself, your kids are going to benefit from them. And the motivation you can provide to those kids to show them that no matter what obstacle coming your way, that life is not going to stop you. Man, the resilience and power you're going to teach your kids, not by giving them a book, but by modeling it to them, you'll change their life. Trust me. Okay, Chioma.
Chioma,
Your
you can
question.
unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes,
hear
we
you
can.
now.
Okay, thank you very much, Keisha. It was such an insightful session. My question is on, going first with your salary expectation, because most times you hear recruitment coaches say, allow them to come up with theirs first because it seems like you're all about the money. But then the truth is, why are we really working, right? We're working because we want to get paid. So it's kind of a different, different from what I've been hearing all the time. So it's just to clarify that, and how does that work with what we've been hearing or what I've known all the time, which is wait for them to tell you.
Yeah. Okay. So I will tell you what happens when you, and I think I said it in my example, when it happens when you let them go first. Now you have to do your research, because I don't want you to do your bad research, go and undersell yourself, right? And trust me, if you go in with an amount and they quickly say yes, it means you came up with a low number. So you have to do your research, going on websites such as salary.com, talking to HR people, talking to people that are in the role already, and doing the groundwork to get the number. But once you know the number and know what you want, I do highly recommend you go first. And guess what? A lot of the people that you're talking to are probably not the people that are negotiating successfully. I'll tell you behind the scenes, and I'm just gonna call it out. In the US, the white men, and trust me, those are the ones that are coming to me, and they are going first. And that's one of the reasons they get paid more, is because they know how the game works. While the rest of us, we have to be humble. Like, no, it is about money. And if you are bringing, it's business. Business is about money. They know that. And if you're bringing value, then they're going to pay you. And if they're not, you need to find somewhere else and work. I'm very adamant about that. And I've seen it happen so many times. So, but the only caveat I'll say about that, Chioma, is that you really do need to ensure that the homework is done. And my free guide that I send will begin to do that. If you have more questions, though, obviously, if you join my Own Your Power program, which you can contact me about, I'm going to drop a few links here. Then you can talk to me and find out to me personally on how you can learn these strategies and how to apply them. I'm going to drop a link here before we wrap, because there's a one-on-one coaching that I do now. It's one session, and you may not think a lot of stuff get done in one session, but I have you take an assessment. It's a strength-based assessment, and I tell you so I'm on everywhere. Yep, Keisha Winter on everywhere. LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere as Keisha Winter. You can find me there, and I answer my LinkedIn and my Instagram messages immediately, almost immediately, at least within 24 hours. But I just drop a link here, and I'm going to invite you to sign up for this one and a half, actually it's almost 2-hour coaching, where I go through your strengths. I go through what it takes for you specifically to get to the next level, what's holding you back. And I'm going to show this, if I can get a minute, just real quick, just to tell people, like, people may not think there's a lot that happens in just one session. And I'm going to just show you guys real quick, and then that will be the last thing I'll say before we go. I got this message not today, a couple months ago from a client that just did this one session. At the end of the first, the same day after we finished the session, she emailed me and she said, thanks for the session. She feels empowered. It made it clear how I bring value into the workplace and affect coworkers, and she's going to take action. So that's in summary what she says. 2 months, and she wasn't even looking for a job, but after a discussion and I highlighted the strengths that she had and how she can market herself, she came back to me and she says, I want to keep you posted on my journey. It's been 2 months. You might recall I mentioned I was promoted to a more senior role at that time after the discussion with me. but I wasn't enthusiastic, although it was an achievement. The salary was below her expectations, although I'm not the type who would just go and on and feel bad about it. So I thought, why is it not going to hurt for me to look around? Because I said, you need to explore your options. She looked around, she looked at another company, and she lived in England, not in the US, so in the UK. And she looked, and she was able to go on an interview, says they would be open to provide a package that's closer to the salary she really wanted. And she had a couple of chats, and here I am, she says, with a new role contract in my inbox. Also, because I followed your advice in going where I am celebrated. This will not be true, of course, on day one. However, I feel 100% sure I'll be able to make my coworkers aware of the value I bring to my new role and visibility. So I say that to say she just did that one session and she got so much results and got a new job. And then after she did the session, she joined my longer program. So the link is in the chat. I just dropped it. I want to invite you to sign up or reach out to me to have a discussion, a discussion on what's the best next step for you. Because I don't want you to stay in a job or play small when you can make 2022 the most successful year you've had. So I'm 2 minutes over. I'm cognizant of time. So I'm going to hand over to you, Oge. I don't see any more questions, but hopefully you all got some value.
Yeah, I think we have 2 more questions, Keisha.
Okay.
So one, just to help my audience. So I'm starting out a new career. I've never done project management or business analysis before. How do I come up with a brag sheet? It's a new role, it's a new organization. It's not like my current organization and I'm trying to negotiate for something higher. So I'm moving somewhere, a new role. How do I come up with a brag sheet? What tips do you have to share?
Is it, so you're changing companies?
Yeah, I'm changing companies, I'm changing career.
Okay. So first of all, this theme will actually applies. It doesn't matter if you're changing career, and I'm sorry, I didn't hear what was a career before and what they want to be. Can you repeat that part?
So maybe I used to be an accountant, I used to be a banker, and now I want to be a project manager. I want to be a business analyst. How do I come up with a brag sheet? Okay.
First step is that you have to decide, you have to figure out because people are only going to hire you if they think you're going to benefit them, right? In the business world, we say it, they only care what's in it for them, right? So by looking at the job descriptions or by talking to the hiring manager or the people that would be hiring you or be responsible for hiring you, you have to find out what skill set is most important to them, right? And once you find out what skill set is most important to them, then you're going to have to take a step back and really think through that while you don't have the exact quote unquote experience you're looking for, what are some of the things that you did in your old role that is going to be applicable to your new role, right? So for example, I'll take something that applies, to me. Perfect example, I started a new business. I was never an entrepreneur before. But what I did know is that when I was in HR, I spent time coaching leaders, right? I spent time making sure that I was hitting the budget, right? I spent time making sure that I was coming up with creative and innovative ideas that was going to keep the teams motivated that I was working with. And so if you hear creativity and innovation is important as a business leader, managing a budget, financial management as a business owner is also very important. And leadership, soft skills, being able to talk to people and inspire and motivate to become clients like what I'm doing with you now. Those are important skills. And so I can't tell you exactly what those skill sets are, but you just take a list of all the qualifications and all the skill set that they want, or listen to the person that's telling you what they want, and then try to connect the dot. You're gonna have to connect the dots for them and show them how some of your skill set is gonna be transferable into your new role, and put it in ways, again, what I said in my example earlier is people care about how have you been able to save money for an organization before? How have you been able to save time, right? So maybe you improve a process, made it more efficient, and you save time. And what value you brought, were there creative ideas, innovation? Did you bring employee satisfaction? Just really sit down and think about the tangible evidence of the value that you bring, and then make that translatable to that new role. Okay.
Thank you very much, Keisha. One more question in the chat. Blessing was asking, is it possible to negotiate even when an offer has been given and accepted, though you are yet to start and you feel you deserve more?
Okay, so it's hard. I'm dropping my yourpowerunleashed.org. If you want to email me, that's my email. So it is hard. It's not impossible. I gave you the example about my family member earlier, right? That did go in, and I said, you should have said 120. And then I said, go back and say, you know, this amount, and they ended up getting 5,000. It was not a ton, but it was something. So it's not impossible. You can go in, and you're going to say, look, I'm really excited about this new role. I'm really excited about the opportunity and the options. And I know I initially had accepted the offer, but I really want to be transparent that my expectations, you know, were whatever it was. And I want to have a discussion on what we can do to bridge that gap. If they come back and say they can't do anything, look, you can still take the job. I would say to you, like, all right, like, fine, I'm really excited about this role. I really do want to take the job, so I'm going to accept it. But I would love to talk about, like, what, you know, would you like to see in terms of results, so that we can revisit this discussion in 6 months or a year from now, whatever it is, right? You know, you don't want to close the door just because they said no, especially if it's a job that you want. I still say accept the job because you already said yes, but it doesn't hurt to still have the discussion at all. But you just have to make sure you say it in a way that it's very transparent, that, you know, you did some more thinking about it, and that the most important thing is the role, but you're still concerned about the finances. Do it with a positive attitude. Don't do it in a confrontational way. I don't think salary discussions need to be I've never had a confrontational salary discussion. That's why I say always have a positive attitude. So just have an honest, calm, you know, peaceful discussion, but at the same time, let your needs and your desires be made known. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Keisha. Can we all say thank you and appreciate Keisha for her time this evening, and do well to reach out to Keisha. I'm sure you would not regret your time with her. Keisha, we appreciate your time and your presence this evening. We know you are a highly sought after executive coach, but you've graced us and you've blessed us with your presence this evening. For that, we are very grateful, and we can't thank you enough. So guys, thank you so much for showing up, and I hope you got more than enough value, more than you expected. I just want to quickly
can I just say one last thing? I dropped my website, I dropped my email, I dropped a sign-up link for coaching. You guys feel free, and I would love to hear from you. Reach out to me. I'm available to talk one-on-one. But send me a message on, you know, either on my email or on Instagram or LinkedIn, and let's have a conversation, because I would definitely love to support you in your journey to get to the next level professionally, whether or not you're a male or female. So that's it. Thank you, Oge. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. I hope I'm sharing the right screen. I just want to mention our upcoming activity. Harry, am I sharing the right screen?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. So we have a free business analysis training coming up starting 5th of February for those that are aspiring. I saw a lot of people introducing themselves as aspiring to become BAs. So if you are interested, please reach out or register so that you can get a slot for that. Also feel free, kindly follow us, look at the chats, follow us on our social media handles, so that you can, we do have these webinars periodically, and we hope to have even more better loaded webinars this year that are impactful for the community. So follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and you get notified about all our events. So if you're interested in this, you can send us an email. If you don't have the link yet, please do well to register and participate. A lot of people, we've got 3 testimonials from people that participated in our free summer internship program. They all have BA jobs today. So It's free, so please do well to partake. And I'm offering also tonight is a night of bonus. Keisha is offering us for all those that stay to the end, because I'm taking attendance right now, the free salary negotiation guide. Keisha is also offering some free one-on-one sessions, and we are also offering 2 free one-on-one sessions if you are trying to start out a career in business analysis and you don't know how to start or what to do. But you need to first follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on all our social media handle, and then we'll pick the winner. Comment about this webinar. You can tag Keisha, talk about how so much you've learned from her, and we will pick a winner for those two sessions. In the absence of any other questions and respect your time, we're sorry for running over. Thank you so much for coming this evening.